Hello, guys. Welcome to my Pilgrammed Iceberg. This has been primarily researched by me. Credits for helpers are at the end. I, Duck Fancy, have created this iceberg to share knowledge of trivia, glitches, and techniques related to Pilgrammed and its history.
The main goal of this iceberg is to provide interesting information, where every viewer will find at least one new thing.
Layer 1. Well-known trivia and mechanics that aren't obvious to new players.
We are starting off with a well-known one. Nuke builds are cheese setups frequently posted to YouTube to kill bosses before they can fight back. Events refer to the April Fool's events and seasonal events that give you free cosmetics, such as the pumpkin set and Christmas hat. Update posters are promotional materials for the game that the devs used to post. These listed new features in the update. Reference items is very self-explanatory. Same with potion making, old farts lore, and bringing bosses to prairie. Spore Shot refers to a weapon infamous for being capable of cheesing bosses using the technique. BEV's Hate Tank builds refers to the devs nerfing tanks over arguably more unbalanced glass cannon insane damage builds.
Terrible balancing is ranged and mage being better than melee outside of niche cases, and the more fun, skillful playstyle always being the slower, worse one.
Easter egg scene in videos refers to Pilgrammed YouTubers worse than me, Duck Fancy, farming videos by just posting compilations of Easter eggs found in the map.
Shadow changes are the main way the devs balance the game. They just buff and nerf shit with zero warning and don't even tell us.
Thumbnail mascots are the little characters seen in Pilgrammed icons. It's always a cute drawing of a character important to the update, besides the first one, which is a thief. Merch just refers to the Highway Sun plushie. There is unofficial merch in the form of UGC, like mine. Oh ho ho. Poise is a hidden mechanic where, as you attack bosses, they take poise damage and eventually get stunned if it reaches a certain threshold. DFBs or dummy farming builds refer to terrible builds that have insane damage but are pretty much unusable on bosses. So people just use them on dummies to flex. Hoaxes refers to different Pilgrammed videos and wiki pages for fake content. Examples are Circus Elephant and Prime Shield. Glider text simply refers to using the glider to cancel momentum during boss fights. Unused music refers to how the jukebox lists late-game boss music as unused to avoid spoilers.
Layer 2. Mechanics more hidden or rare to come by. Removed yet well-known things, not a surface level, but a lot of people know these.
Developer responses to videos refers to the developers responding to criticism with either videos or comments. Dylan's Tower refers to a removed area but also to a Pilgrammed spin-off that's still in development. Vampire used to give you buffs or debuffs based on the time of day. It also healed you upon killing an enemy, just like Deepwoken haha. Removed for being too good for Sky Battlegrounds. Chaos Cultists used to be evil, but that was changed so that it could become a joinable guild. The entry quest required you to kill a traitor.
Chaos Recorder is a quest item that works as an X-ray for enemies once its quest is completed.
Mana Bullets is a removed item that gave guns intellect scaling and made them count as staffs. Insignia and Magic Gem were gems that were removed and replaced for not really fitting the game. Insignia removed melee end lag and reduced gun and staff cooldown. Magic Gem is today's Dark Gem but simpler. Guns used to be a subclass of mage before Raindrops just had their own accessories and dex scaling. Megadeth is an NPC that lets you rebirth if you were level 30, before save deleting was added. Unknown Lab refers to a scrapped, out-of-bounds area under the Western Sea. April Fool's events parody games such as old Roblox RPGs, JoJo games, Blox Fruit, and Souls RNG. Unobtainable items is self-explanatory.
Bosses can despawn if they have moves that send them flying far enough to lose aggro or go out of bounds. Big Fish, despite being a mid-game boss, has an ultimate move with 320 damage. If Mondo, it can one-shot endgame players on pretty much any build without damage reduction.
Some bosses can lose the ability to attack. This can be beneficial, like Lazari when that first released, or a soft lock in the case of Kai Guy. The Rat Carnival was added as an unserious area, more fitting of an April Fool's event than the base game. This is likely because it's a replacement for the cancelled April Fool's 4, being airborne but not falling, or using the glider for extended periods of time will make you get kicked. This mostly occurs if you or your mount are clipped into a wall partially.
Layer 3. Very obscure parts of the game's lore. Forgotten glitches and mechanics that most people don't know or remember.
Mount clipping refers to freezing your game while on A. Mount to make your mount teleport in the direction it was going.
Simon used to refuse to sell his items to you if you were an ice troll back when vampires still gave you buffs. This is because ice trolls, or ice imps as they have been renamed, are racially inferior to the other pilgrim tribes.
Kata, as mentioned by a cleric in the monastery, was created from the tomb of a hero after it was flooded with blight rot.
You can use the fishing rod to fly with boats and mounts if you have a passenger. This will be important in future entries.
Out-of-bounds structures refers to Easter eggs hidden outside the map. This is put far down because most people only know a few, not all.
Bugged weapons in PvP refers to weapons hitting more often than intended in PvP, such as boulder blades and knife blades.
Strange Junk is an NPC that foreshadowed Chrono's existence. It was a rusted copper ant, which led to a lot of people thinking copper ants were made by him. This is directly disproven in a pre-recorded message in the factory. Auditor is an enemy that spawns if you kill too many enemies without meeting certain conditions. It's quite easy to survive if paying attention but can infamously one-shot those who are AFK or distracted. Forgotten accessories refers to accessories which simply get zero usage due to being nerfed or reworked. Examples are Rubber Band and Mysterious Charm.
The game's official soundtrack has some weirdly named songs, such as the Evil Army one being called Salvenstein. Who the fuck is Salva?
Speaking of the Evil Army, who is the Royal King? He isn't brought up anywhere else in the game. He has connections with the Elite Knights, and that's all we know. All Peas is a meal that has an increased chance of giving you one of the secret buffs. This isn't mentioned in-game. Using a boat with a fishing rod and passenger, you can fly inside of rifts and actually attack enemies and get drops. The pit that leads to Morning Hollow contains a teleporter. Enemies are not affected by teleporters, and there is nothing under it. So falling just despawns them. This infamously allowed you to kill the king in the Evil Army event.
The origin of the library where the post-pescatarian archives resides is just not mentioned anywhere. If you ask Latine, he says it's above your clearance level.
Layer 4. Very obscure mechanics and Easter eggs that the average player will never come across normally. Isthmus is an obscure NPC hidden in plain sight in Patchland Grove. He has quite ominous dialogue and is unrelated to anything else in the game. Lomario is an NPC that spawns in random places around the map when you join the game. Most people have never seen him. Snowsligs refer to an enemy that were only in the game for a short amount of time, then got added as an Easter egg in Chrono's factory. Lazari ignores you if you reach him without meeting the requirements to fight him. The junk pits have an instant death zone for anyone that enters it without having done the elevator quest line.
Back in the day, there were a lot of custom emotes, and the block animation had a lot of aura. The block animation had to be changed cause it looked like you were jorking your chicken if you used it with the wrong item. The emotes were removed because of people being weird to each other with them.
Sunken Gem was an item dropped by the Goat Big Fish when the game first released. It was just tenacity, but worse, so it got removed.
Ice Pendant was an item so useless that it got removed with barely anyone even noticing. It was situational and just worse Nazar. Black Vermite refers to Bothil or Unbear Island, which is pitch black and an ore under volcano. It's called that in reference to Craft Wars where Black Vermite was an Easter egg, or Rapier Spin Heavies refers to how the silver rapier and Evil Needle Heavy for some reason worked with Sandpod Crown. Baby Magma Turtle Poaching refers to how you are capable of killing them using IgMG, which instantly deletes them.
Lo-Fi Island was an island you could access by saying a phrase in chat. This phrase sometimes got people banned, and it could be used to avoid death as an emergency mirror, so its entry method got removed. Now it's inaccessible without glitches.
Primordial Red is a boss with no attacks that's hidden inside April Fool's 1. Not many people have ever found it, as April Fool's doesn't have a bestiary completion percentage, so they had no reason to search. Paper Cave and the Deep Desert Cave have literally zero content, so they are pretty much entirely forgotten. By increasing your pay, you give yourself a delay which helps out with Unfair Fight's super weirdly delayed attacks. The color schemes of certain guilds were changed in either pre-jinx or junk pits. This wasn't documented anywhere.
Dave the Tree refers to a floating tree outside Kai Lazari's arena. There isn't anything noteworthy about it, but my friend Etoil941 kept annoying me to make it an entry. Layer 5. Things that are rare to figure out on your own and aren't on the wiki, or are so niche that wiki readers skip over them.
Crimson is the console term for blood and hurtin is the console term for bleeding. This is because censorship is more strict on console.
Kembus, the potion seller NPC, used to sell blood vials, but says that he isn't a vampire. Why did he sell blood then, bro? Where did he even get it? He probably just sawed his fangs off.
Harry the Archer tells you he knows techniques that are too complicated to teach. He literally teaches you how to fire tens of arrows into the air with a delayed fall in like a second. What could he even know? You can edit your skill tree without a cabinet anywhere by just having both the skill tree and weapon inventory open at once. Brain Brawl has the same gimmick as Water Rock Wonder, where it uses mana and scales of intellect and also reuses Rockwondo's idle animation. Bone Claws is just better Wind Rockwondo. Green Gloves is a somewhat slower fighting style with a heavy where you slam into the enemy, much like the Earth Stands. Red Power Fists are fists with slightly above average speed and a projectile, like Fire Rockwondo. The Delicate Egg accessory is a pretty mediocre accessory, but it's responsible for a bug in the game's code that increased everyone's parry frames by 50%, even if they weren't using it. Every update or so the devs forget to make a one-of-a-kind item unsellable, leading to them having to code a way to get it again. The dual arena is actually possible to reach using boat flight, and it has a convenient rock formation next to it to rest on. If you camp there and enable PvP, you can jump into people's duels to kill one of them. initially plans for a cat race that was slightly smaller than the other races, but the devs removed it to stop furries from being weird with it.
Certain infamous cheese builds that are incredibly easy to nerf without affecting anyone playing the game normally, such as Spore Shot and Vine Wand, either took forever to patch or never got patched. Layer 6, features that were niche even before being removed. Implications of some details, conspiracies, and unknown backstories.
So Sorrow's mode was a Sky Battlegrounds difficulty that was only in the game during April Fools. It was hellish. The veggies in April Fools are from a JoJo game parody called Solely Bizarre Epic. The game isn't public anymore. Impossible Reforges refers to certain items having reforges they shouldn't have, such as pickaxes with melee reforges. There are no checks to reset the reforge on these as they aren't really an issue.
Hardcore mode has no penalty for leaving mid-fight, so a lot of hardcore players use tenacity and just rage quit if their tenacity activates. Some aren't even capable of beating bosses normally and get people to carry them. A good example of this is Yaffer 1986. The prairie statue used to have no sword, but due to its similarities to a certain pose, it was given one to not have to change the entire statue. Mounts at one point were part of the player's hitbox. This got an insane amount of people killed, as if someone took your mount and you didn't know how it worked, they could just get an enemy to attack it. A good example is my friend Detoil, who wiped a hardcore player who was AFK.
Atlantis bait refers to how every major update or April Fool's update has had an aquatic area does a sneak peek to bait people into thinking Atlantis is being added. Explorers were initially added to test the system for escort missions. This could mean that we will have to escort an important NPC later in the storyline. Orange portals are unexplained portals that take you either to a random spot with no connection to it or back to your bed. They are way too futuristic even for a place like Chrono's factory, so it doesn't make much sense to have them randomly in the overworld. Bosses used to be able to spawn as Mondo, but the devs removed it cause testers got frustrated by Mondo Lazari. Some bosses could spawn as Giant in the past. Gemini eyes were an enemy featured in certain dev streams. The Gemini drone is based off of it, having a similar color and dropping an item called Gemini Eye. There are 3 gems in a glass in Chrono's lab. One is red, one is blue, and one is green. They could either be gemstones or it could hint at a future green gem. When Elite Guard first got released, using it with Gel Shield or Scrap Shield make block damage 0 and sometimes deleted your hitbox temporarily. Meteor thieves imply there are civilizations outside of the Pilgrammed planet, or an afterlife, or they aren't real meteors.
Layer 7, things that pretty much nobody knows about.
For some stupid, unknown reason, despite explorers being way before mounts in progression, they can sit on them. You can even use the fishing rod on them to fly. This is incredibly useful as it makes 3-person glitches, such as an upcoming one, possible with just 2 people. They do refuse to sit after a while, though. Anyone who has used a gun knows that the projectile's on. Most guns create bullet holes when colliding with a surface. In the past, enemies counted as a surface for this, and the revolver had a special death effect. Both features were removed for being too violent. Now for one of my favorite entries in the Iceberg. Roblox teleports simply count as you move into a different spot instantly. The path to that spot is inherently instant, but we can, using perfect timing, trick the game that we're still on that path. By Stormcutter heavying at an almost perfect time, we can teleport somewhere in between a mirror and any spot or cancel teleports.
guns and staffs both have set startups and cooldowns, so you would assume melee swing speed works by just modifying a default one. This is correct, but the default one is different based on the M1 animation. Let's compare Stormcutter, which has a very fast swing animation but lower swing speed, and Black Stiletto, which has a comically high swing speed but slow animation.
Ominous Note is an Easter egg NPC in the observatory basement that got removed some time before the Raindrops update.
Dude, this is literally just a random Easter egg NPC. Shouldn't it be higher up?
No, it actually has lower significance. Let's think for a second. It could either be about Boyle being a bit crazier than we think. It could be about another researcher that we don't know about, or it could hint at Chrono working at the observatory back in the day. Sure, it doesn't make that much sense, but Talvern and Marometro are skeletons, so we don't know their age. It also could have just gotten retconned. Back in the late Catacombs era, there was a skill called planning that let you change accessories anywhere. By pressing swap to vanity twice, you could swap full loadouts instantly with it. Stormcutter's heavy makes mounts client-sided. Yeah, a lot of people already knew this, but what people don't know is that you can store momentum in mounts using this and release it next time you sit, allowing you to fly or set traps to instantly kill new players when they get in your passenger seat.
You may be wondering how I know where some locations are out of bounds from the main map, such as the duels and rifts can be flown to entries. Exploiting. Random luck. No, the answer is fishing rods. You can figure out the direction of anything in the entire game by just having someone teleport to it while your rod is on them.
This is it. This is the most obscure thing I could find. Bubble columns were an addition mentioned in the update logs for version Rain 2. It got deleted from the patch log and genuinely nobody in the community knows what it is as far as I'm aware. I looked literally everywhere in the map to try and find it back when it was still in the version log, but it just wasn't there. This is about all the information I could find and considered to be worth putting on the iceberg. If I forgot anything, I may make a bonus entries video. This iceberg is almost 100% researched by me, with the exception of, like for entries. Screenshots and videos are either by me or from the wiki. Before I end the video, I would like to personally thank Etal941 for helping with some entries and footage, JakeStar5937 for an entry suggestion, Oxplane for making me start the iceberg, and Kirill_Ukraine for helping with footage. Besides that, massive shout-outs to the Pilgrammed Wiki for certain images. Despite having most things memorized, I don't have everything. Screenshotted, so they were very helpful for some entries referring to removed stuff.